It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a permanent, deep blue, one-party state from which there would be no escape.
If you were allowed, for some reason, to run for a third term, is there a thought that the Democrats could try to run Barack Obama against you?
I'd love that.
And we are back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, people. You know, it helps us out a lot. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you this content. Now, y'all, what I'm going to do one of these videos where I tell the story through the clips. So there's really two different stories, but they're connected. The first one is about the immigrants, y'all. That is, as you're going to see, that is the #1 issue in the Trump administration right now. The tariffs are grabbing a lot of headlines, but really the immigration and the immigrant issue is the #1 issue, as you're going to see his spokesperson, Caroline Leavitt, say here. And then the second one is Trump trolling everybody about his third term, which is absolutely hilarious because who knows, it might actually come to be, right? It might be that he actually tries it, but I think as of right now, he's trolling. So first of all, let's jump in. This is kind of a testy exchange about the immigration, and we're also going to see that more people got deported to El Salvador. So let's get into it.
Caroline.
The validation guide that DHS is using to determine who is an enemy alien, a Tren de Aragua member, and deportable under the Enemy Aliens Act, it has criteria here that require 8 points to be classified as a TDA member. You can get classified by simply having certain symbols in your tattoos and wearing certain streetwear brands. That alone is enough to get someone classified as TDA and sent to El Salvador.
That's not true, actually, Andrew.
According to this document, it is.
No, according to the Department of Homeland Security and the agents, have you talked to the agents who have been putting their lives on the line to detain these foreign terrorists who have been terrorizing our communities? TDA is a vicious gang that has taken the lives of American women. And our agents on the front lines take deporting these people with the utmost seriousness, and there is a litany of criteria that they use to ensure that these individuals qualify as foreign terrorists and to ensure that they qualify for deportation. And the president made it incredibly clear to the American public that there would be a mass deportation campaign of not just foreign terrorists, but also illegal criminal aliens who have been wreaking havoc on American communities. And shame on you and shame on the mainstream media for trying to cover for these individuals who have. This is a vicious gang, Andrew. This is a vicious gang that has taken the lives of American women.
The government filed in court, which says all.
And you said yourself there are 8 criteria on that document.
They need 8 points.
And you are questioning the credibility of these agents who are putting their life on the line to protect your life and the life of everybody in this group and everybody across the country. And their credibility should be questioned. They finally have a president who is allowing them to do their jobs, and God bless them for doing it.
We are following some breaking news, which brings us back stateside. Take a look at your screen. Secretary Marco Rubio just putting this statement out on X. It says, quote, "Last night in a successful counterterrorism operation with our allies in El Salvador, the United States military transferred a group of 17 violent criminals from the Tren de Aragua and MS-13 organizations, including murderers and rapists."
Came as the Trump administration today announced it has deported 17 more alleged gang members to El Salvador. The State Department said they were removed last night and said there were murderers and rapists among them, but officials didn't give details of their nationalities or whether any of them had been charged or tried in court. It's unclear at this point if the deportations violate a federal judge's ruling on Friday that temporarily blocked deportations to some countries.
The wait times on judges are like average 6 years. Look at Grok, you'll see it on immigration judges. There's only 700 of them. This is 5.5 million people, okay? So what happens then? Once you're in the country and you got asylum through one of these pathways, and we map the whole thing out, you can apply for a work document. You file a 765, it's the work form. You get this form called the 766, that's the authorization, and then Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your social security number. No interview, no ID.
This is worth just reiterating. It's not people sometimes think that under the Biden administration that he was simply asleep at the switch. He wasn't asleep. They weren't asleep at the switch. It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a permanent, deep blue, one-party state from which there would be no escape.
Look, if I hadn't seen this myself, I'm not sure I'd have believed it. I went through it myself and mapped it, and Elon is right. This is true. The defaults in the system from Social Security to all of the benefit programs have been set to max inclusion, max pay for these people, and minimum collection. That's what's happening. We found 1.3 million of them already on Medicaid.
So now let's take a look at how Trump ignited a firestorm after he said that he is very serious about looking at a third term in the White House. Of course, according to the 22nd Amendment, that might be difficult, right? If not impossible. But as you will see, some people think Trump might just be trolling, while other people are taking this very serious. So let's jump right into it.
Caroline, what method would the president use to potentially run for a third term? As he said, there are methods there.
Look, you guys continue to ask the president this question about a third term, and then he answers honestly and candidly with a smile, and then everybody here melts down about his answer. The president talked about this last night on the plane. He said, it's not really something we're thinking about. He has 4 years. There's a lot of work to do. We've done a lot in these nearly first 100 days, and the American people love what this president is doing, particularly when it comes to efforts to secure the border.
There's this other story. I know it's hypothetical right now, but if you were allowed for some reason to run for a third term, is there a thought that the Democrats could try to run Barack Obama against you?
I'd love that.
For his third term?
Boy, I'd love that. That would be a good one. I'd like that. No, people are asking me to run, and there's a whole story about running for a third term. I don't know. I never looked into it. They do say there's a way you can do it, but I don't know about that. But I have not looked into it. I want to do a fantastic job. We have 4 years, just about, almost close to 4 years. Time is flying, but it's still close to 4 years, and we're getting a lot of credit for having done a great job in the first almost 100 days.
Finally here, Professor, while we have you, let's talk about this idea that President Trump continues to float, and that is the idea of him running for a third term, despite the fact that, of course, the Constitution only allows a person to serve 2 terms as president. The president asked about this just over the weekend, and he told a reporter, he said, I'm not joking. He says there are ways that this can happen. I guess the question is how seriously all of us should be taking the president right now, and is there something that's sort of politically advantageous for the president in keeping this notion alive of running for a third term?
Yeah, I think there's 2 things going on here, Alex. One is that you don't want to be perceived to be a lame duck. That's like the worst thing in Washington, D.C. And Donald Trump, of course, doesn't want to be perceived as a lame duck. So you're going to talk about a third term. The other component to this is you're going to distract. And job number 1 is to distract from things like Signalgate, what's going on in some of these other elections from Elon Musk. Remove some of those things off the front pages, if you will, and from the headlines so that you can talk about the possibility, maybe, perhaps, that I'm serious, that I would have a third term. And in that element, it pushes all of those other things into the background because Donald Trump knows how to control the media space for pointy-headed academics like myself to talk about what's going on.
So now I'd like to hear from you. Of course, you know how it is. So in the comments, talk to me about what you think. Do you think Trump is going to try to run for a third term in office, or do you think he's just trolling? And also, what about this immigration issue, y'all? It looks like they may have ignored the judge's order and sent people down to El Salvador anyway. What do you think is going to happen with that? What is your opinion about that? Y'all certainly let me know what you think down in the comments. But before you do, please stop, hit the share button, put in somebody's text message, email, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, or all of them, and share this video out. Also, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. And we'll see you back in the next one.